Hi there and welcome back. Dan again from CleanGuru, and today's message, cleaning business lesson from March Madness. I was just listening on the radio the other day to, March Madness, the college basketball, all the games that go on in March. And the people on the radio, the guys on the radio were talking about, do you think it's better the teams that are really solid, the dominating teams, or do you think it's the teams that really can play in the clutch? When it gets right down to it, they elevate their game and they really are great in those kind of tight games to win it. And I think, as I recall, and I was half listening in the car as I listened to this, but I think the one commentator said, well, they looked at it a little bit, and really, the dominating teams are the way to go. Now, it might be exciting for those teams that elevate their game and can win those close games, but on balance, the teams that are stronger, that are more disciplined, they're the ones you want to be. Well, there's a lesson in there about cleaning companies, and that's this. You don't want to be the cleaning business where it came down to 2 or 3 companies and they just went with you because your price was a little lower. They just went with you because you stepped in and you gave the most phenomenal sales presentation you ever gave. You don't want it to come down to a couple little things where you just eked out the win and they gave you the account. Now, are you glad you got it? Sure, you're glad you got the new job. But the way you got it is not a good method for the future. If I'm going to talk fast today, it's because I want to talk to you about 2 or 3 ideas. First of all, the reason you don't want to be that way or have a company that way is if it comes down to you have to have the certain price, well, we don't want to be just price competitive. That's not the whole focus of our company. There's more than that. And secondly, you don't want it to come down to that you always have to step in and give the greatest sales presentation ever to win the job. How are we ever going to grow past ourselves if we don't have something different from that? So let me go to another point. Don't confuse more with different. What do I mean? One day I was looking online and they were talking about how is your cleaning business different than other cleaning businesses? And everyone's response was something like, well, we offer more services and we really work harder and we never leave the job without making sure it's really clean. Well, all of those things struck me. They may be more, they may offer more of this, more time, more services, but nothing really stuck out as very different. If you don't want it to come down to a very close competition, you're going to have to offer something very different. Now, I know I've told you this one idea so many times it's gotten to be kind of beating a dead horse here, but I want to bring it up just for a second. Do you remember when I talked about the idea, what if your company said, listen, we're going to track budgeted hours versus actual hours, and if every day we're going to track it, and we're going to make sure either to add hours or at least monitor it, so every week the customer gets all the hours they were budgeted to get. And if they didn't, by gosh, that week was free. Well, a lot of people thought I was crazy even saying such a thing. Then there's another whole group of people probably thought, what in the world are you talking about? How am I going to watch this every day and every week? But that is certainly different. And that's what I'm talking about. If you don't want to have to get down to you have to make a great sales presentation. If you don't want to get down to your price was just a little bit lower so you won the job. If you don't want it to get down to little things like in the clutch you just happen to win it. If you want to be the dominating team, and you do, so that you can consistently win, then you should come up with, we should come up with 2, 3, 4, a handful of very different, powerful, dominating, compelling things that make you different from anyone in a bigger way. These things make you different in a bigger, noticeable way. And then in that way, you can be the dominating cleaning business, and also down in the future, you can get away from having to be involved in every job personally, and it can grow beyond you, which is a great thing. Hope that helps. Hope it helps your cleaning business. Until next time, remember that you can do this. You really can.